Hi guys, I'm going to show you this fantastic new cube from MF8. It's called the Skewby Copter Plus, which I think is going to be one of the best puzzles of 2019. It is an absolutely incredible puzzle. It is a combination of a skewb, which is a deep cut corner turning puzzle, along with a curvy copter, which is a jumbling edge turner, so it does things like that. But on top of that, you can do partial turns and jumble pieces. In fact, if you do pieces like things like that, then you can really make some very interesting moves and take pieces out of their orbits. So for example, this green should go up to here, to here, to here, to here, to here, and back again. But as you can see, it has swapped sides with this, which is a particularly fun thing to do, and it means that the curvy copter has a very interesting solution. Then we have the Curvy Copter Plus, which in theory could be a lovely puzzle. I've no idea why they put an orange where the white should be, which does exactly the same moves, but you can see there are unbandaged areas here. So where the Curvy Copter can do this, you can now no longer turn this front piece because that gets in the way. Whereas with the Curvy Copter Plus, you can do exactly the same moves, but then you can still turn because of this cut here. And effectively what you've now done is put a centerpiece in a corner, and you can end up very messed up. The downside of this particular design is that now this centerpiece is blocking other moves, which is a real shame, and it does ruin this puzzle because it quite quickly can become almost impossible to use. And then we come to the new puzzle. It's absolutely amazing. The Skewby Copter Plus has skewb turns like that, and I'm going to scramble it in front of everybody as we go through this. It does that. It does the usual Curvy Copter plane moves. It will do standard double jumbling like that, which has the same effect of swapping these. But on top of that, if I want to do the Curvy Copter Plus moves, so I can now still turn that, and I've now swapped centerpieces. If I undo that, and there we go, we swapped centerpieces. On top of that, what you can then do is just the same Curvy Copter Plus moves, you can swap corners and centers just as we did before, but now this will still go past in any direction. Even corners will go past corners in the center position, which makes for an absolutely fantastic puzzle. Let's put that back where it was, and then I'll show you, hopefully if I can undo the scrambling, there we go, how to scramble this puzzle, and what a tremendous mess that it can become, which looks absolutely horrific but is still a solvable puzzle. So first of all, I do things that don't shape shift. So first of all, I'm just doing a few Skewby Copter edge turns. Maybe I'll do some double jumbling, which leaves it as cube shaped. And all that is doing is taking pieces out of their orbits. You can also do it this direction. This makes for an absolutely beautifully moving puzzle. It's absolutely incredible. Then we can maybe do some skewb turns, which separates inner centers from outer centers. We'll do a few of those. And of course I have no idea what I've done so far, so everything's getting very confused. I couldn't possibly reverse what I've done. And we'll do some more Skewby Copter turns. And a few more skewb turns. It does want to turn very easily, so you have to keep a good grip of things. Make sure everything's aligned before you turn it. I've heard of people having problems with popping if they don't get the pieces aligned. And then maybe I should try and swap some of the centers to try and separate the very inner centers from the center centers, whatever you would like to call them. So what you do is you can swap this from this. If I put that up to there, swap that down to there, bring them opposite each other, and then turn that. So I've swapped an orange and a green. Undo that sequence, and we are still in cube shape. And I'm going to do that a few more times and swap a few. Maybe a green and a blue can be swapped. And obviously with such a complex puzzle, you're going to need to spend quite a lot of time getting yourself a really good scramble, separating as many pieces as you possibly can. Orange and red can be swapped. And then we can do a few more skewb turns. Then towards the end of this, you're going to see something that completely blew my mind when I first saw it. We're going to see partial skewb turns and how they do not prevent the Skewby Copter turns from occurring at the same time, which is ever so slightly horrific, but mind-blowing at the same time. Let's just see if I can get some better. But maybe I'll do some jumbling as well. I have no idea whether I've kept this puzzle in frame the whole time. It's quite difficult to do that at the same time as play with the puzzle. Let's swap that green. We'll do a skewb turn as well. We'll swap that green with that white. Trying to separate out as many of the centers as I possibly can. That red, and see if we can, oh, there we go, we've got a yellow. Red and that yellow can go. All the while at the moment I'm trying to keep everything still in cube shape. Do we have any more? Yes, I've got a blue and a white that I can swap. And we'll do some more double jumbling. At the very end we will try and shape shift as well. I'm going to double jumble that. Maybe here. It really does want to slip about and turn this puzzle. Let's try and, oh, we can swap that red and that blue. I'm separating out as many of these centers and inner centers from each other. Getting quite a good scramble here. What else have we got? We can get blue and yellow. Oops. Now, these pieces, where's that come from? There it is. That's the first time that's happened to me. So I need to try and find a way to put that back in place. Don't actually know how that came apart. There we go, that's gone back together. It hasn't gone back together properly. Now it has. There we go. Never had that happen before. But we'll go back to swapping that blue and the yellow. There we go. So it's all gradually getting a really good scramble. Are there any more centres that haven't been? There's an orange there and a yellow here. See if I can do a double jumble of that. So we're going to swap this orange and yellow. There we go, the orange and yellow are swapping. I'm putting that back there. And these are Skewby Copter Plus type turns. And you can see that we've managed to separate. That orange and green can be swapped as well. So we've got rid of all of the pairs of inner centres as far as I can see. There we go. So it's looking pretty scrambled. Do a few double jumbles. We've got a white there paired up still. Why don't I swap it with that green? Do be careful to try and make sure things are aligned as much as they possibly can. And if you try and turn things when things are not well aligned, then you end up with pops. And believe me, if this comes apart, it's going to be a mess. Still got a few other bits and pieces to turn. And then what we're going to do is we're going to show you something that the shape shifting. So we'll do something like this. So we've done a partial skewed turn. And as you can see here, we can still turn that through 180 degrees and turn it back. And now we have something fairly horrific. And if you look at these edges, they're now butterfly shaped. And now it starts to get blocked. But we can still do skewed turns. And it's starting to get very blocked now that the skewed turns can't be aligned properly. If I now turn that to there, I should be able to do one there. Turn that. Turn that. Maybe go further along. We've unblocked some bits, and now I've really got something fairly horrific. And you just need to have some courage and carry on with your scrambling. It really is very solvable if you understand the skewb. And now you can see some of the inner pieces are misaligned. We've got corners where there should be centres where there should be corners and corners where there should be centres. All sorts of horrific things are happening. Be careful not to turn it where it's blocked, otherwise you'll pop it. And look at this, it'll still beautifully pass. There's no blocking it anywhere apart from where you don't have things aligned at all. And now we're starting to really get pieces mixed up. If I can get that into the position there, turn that, maybe get that turned to there, and more of this is now getting scrambled up. And despite all of this, now obviously that's blocked, but if I turn that to that position, then the skewb turn be careful. The skewb turn can still occur. And if I did a partial skewb turn, then it will still allow me to do curvy copter moves as well, all the way around here, and carry on. Now you can see these centres have been rotated and they don't fit flush to the centre. Everything still turnable. Lining up that, won't line up there, so I can't turn that. And eventually it becomes really quite blocked and you can't do any more, but it has to go that way. Where is it blocked there? It's blocked there. As you can see, I'm now starting to get blocked up and I'm unable to do certain moves. But don't be frightened, carry on doing all of that, it's perfectly solvable. First challenge, of course, is to get it back to cube shaped, which does take a while, and a lot of it is intuition. A whole lot of the solve of this puzzle is intuition. As long as you know the curvy copter moves and the skewb moves, then a whole lot of stuff is possible. I think I can leave it at that. As you can see, it's a rather nice scramble. I've still got an edge here that I can turn. Absolutely wonderful, wonderful puzzle. Thanks for watching, guys.